Hello, friends, and welcome to this devotional through the lens of love. And today we're talking about something that is just such in alignment with the work that I do and also something that I struggle with. This is a topic that many people struggle with, and it is the topic of humility. And I'm a coach. I encourage women to shine. I encourage women to show up and take up space and be big and to use their gifts and to step forward with so much confidence. But then I hear messages like be humble, don't have pride, don't think too highly of yourself. And sometimes those things tend to conflict. But humility is not thinking less of yourself. Let me repeat this. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. Just this morning in my Hollow app, I'm following the Pray 40 series in the Hollow app. If you have that app, please start now. But Mark Wahlberg, he is a devout Catholic, and he shared this message. That was the first thing he said. Humility is not just about thinking less of yourself. So just because you are doing big things in this world, because maybe I have a beautiful picture of me and I have a lot of fun and I make a lot of noise, that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. And I don't have to tell you that. I'm not here to convince anyone of anything. But humility is learning to look beyond yourself. And it's something I'm always excited to work on because I am a servant leader. You watching this are a servant leader. You care. The women that I work with care so much. And that's why it's so hard for them to shine their light like Jesus wanted them to. But humility is looking beyond yourself, and it's seeing others the way that Christ sees them. And this is one of my integral messages. This is one of my main stage speeches, through the lens of love, right? If we could just put on proverbially, did I say that wrong? Just imagine, this is why I love activation by like an item or a thought, right? Because we could stay in this cycle all day. But if we could just put on or pretend that we're putting on heart-shaped glasses and see not only ourselves through the lens of love, but others, it changes everything. We then see others with compassion, how the Lord sees us and how the Lord sees others with compassion and understanding. It's about lifting them up. It's about building them up. It's about focusing outward versus just constantly focusing inward. I want you to think about the last time that you were like so focused on something that was happening in your life and it drove you nuts. You were anxious, you were worried, maybe you were having pain, maybe you were struggling with something and it consumed you. Anyone ever had that happen? It was consuming you. It's time to look outward. This is not saying, like, I do not teach this concept to be like, don't worry about the pain, just shove it away, avoid it. Nuh-uh. You're going to feel it. And then you're going to say, and how can I serve others with this? This is called putting your pain into purpose, using your pain for purpose. This is not a breakdown. This is a breakthrough. And the verse that came to mind for me was Philippians. I always tend to say that wrong. Philippians chapter 2, verses 3-4. I'm just going to read it out of my Bible here. Do nothing out of selfishness or out of vainglory. Rather, humbly regard others as more important than yourselves. Each looking out, not for his own interests, but everyone for those of others. Now, this is where women who are very empathetic and women who are givers become exhausted because they are like, they're leaking and putting their energy out everywhere. And that's the point where you're like, oh, you're actually not even feeling what's happening in your body and you're just avoiding it. Right? No, this is like, here's who I am. And I'm focusing so much on this. I can feel it. This is challenging. I know that negative emotions are a part of my story. And I am going to look outside of me to say, how can I serve others in this space that I'm going through? Have you ever met someone who's like had this incredible story, right? Like loss or pain or frustration, and they turned it into something beautiful. They started teaching a course. They started sharing something. That is the premise of what I do. I was 100% burnt out. I was leaking my energy everywhere. I was snapping at my kids. I didn't love myself. And now I teach others that. Now I share that. I turned it. I took it from me. I could have just stayed in that place and been miserable and been frustrated and like just kept that inside of me. Or I say, how can I share this and serve it with others? So sometimes when we're visible or when we're stepping out into our calling, many people say things like, oh, all you care about is yourself. I have heard that more times than I can count. And if I let that stop me, I would be in my closet crying all day long, all day long. But I'm going to say, oh my gosh, God wants me to do big, beautiful things with this pain that I have endured in this life. And here's how I'm going to share it. So that's why I am always reaching out to women. That is why I'm always inviting them to spaces with me so that they can too step into this servant leadership from their cup overflowing. And I'm not saying that doesn't hurt, right? Like I have thick skin, but I am a human being and I have emotions. And people say really hard things to me. People said hard things where I just literally, there's one time someone said something to me and I stopped showing up on social media for like almost a year. And then I wasn't serving anyone. I was just sitting there, in self-loathing, thinking about that and worrying about and like, oh my gosh, like hating them or frustrated with them or feeling like I wasn't enough, which is not true at all. Right. So I get that, you guys. If someone is saying that to you, it hurts because you're actually trying to serve. You're here to serve, and you know that. But these moments where people have said those things have also become opportunities where I get to process the emotion, where I get to grow stronger, where you get to do the same thing. And that's what I help women with. And we get to ask ourselves a really important question, right? What does this person in front of me need right now? Right? For someone to say something else that really hurts you deep to the core or dims your light and the being that you are, oh my goodness. I'm just going to send so much love to them, right? They're confused about who I am and who I'm trying to help. And I also get to look in the mirror and say, like, how can I serve differently? How can I serve more? Not that there's anything wrong with me. It's just a process. It's always evolving. It's always evolving for the betterment of the world, to help women, to help people get to heaven, right? So when we turn outward in generosity and service, something really powerful happens. Our pride loosens its grip a little bit. Anxiety loosens its grip because pride grows when we focus inward. And something I heard from Sister Miriam the other day too, she said, bring low the mountains of my pride. And I was like, oh yeah, sometimes it goes way up, right? And my clients and a lot of people I know, my family, they're like, how do you show up and coach when you're having a hard day? Because let me tell you, there are some days where I'm like crying in my chair over there. And then I get on a call and afterward, it just fills my heart with so much joy during and afterward. Why? Because I'm serving others. So if you are stuck in your own, let's call it a pity party, and feeling really bad for yourself, hard for yourself, yes, that is an emotion that you are meant to feel. It is yours. Don't try to push it away or avoid it, but say, hey, I am feeling pain and I'm choosing to do this. If you've watched the movie, I Can Only Imagine 2, it shares it so beautiful about holding grief and gratitude at the same time. And so many of us are like, well, I can either be sad and grieving, or I can be happy. And it feels so fake to be happy. You get to be both. And that's part of our experience. And so I encourage you to show up as the woman you are meant to be, to shine your light brighter, to say, okay, that was a hard situation. I'm feeling pain. How can I serve others with what I've been through? How can I teach them? How can I share that? How can I expand? And that's why I love what I do. That's why it fills me with so much joy. And that's why, God fills me with his energy to do it, because I'm serving others, even when I'm having a hard day, even when it feels challenging. Some people are like, oh, you have it all figured out. I'm like, oh, you're adorable. That's an adorable thought. And people will tell you, the more you shine, the more you come out in public, the more you share what you have to offer, people will feel threatened by that. And they will say things like, oh, well, you're just too boastful, or you're just bragging and you're doing this. And it's like, they're just confused about you. And let them be confused. Stop trying to convince them. Stop trying to switch their thoughts. They are going through their own process. So I just want to say a prayer for all of you listening here live and to the replay. Lord, thank you so much for teaching us every single day, for teaching us that the true definition of humility is not just thinking less about ourselves. It's really turning outward to serve others in your love, in your light, not from a place of anger or resentment, right? Because we can feel that and we can say yes because, oh, maybe we should or we could. But Lord, just let us serve fully and see ourselves and others, the work that we're doing in this world, through the lens of love, through your lens. Lord, give us strength. Lord, surround us with women who support us in these values, in these principles, in the ways of your word. Lord, you are so, so good. Thank you for showing us light and love every single day and help us to always turn our pain into purpose for the betterment of this life, this world, as we travel towards you in heaven. Lord, thank you so much for being here. We love you. Thank you so much for being here, all of you who are watching. And so today I invite you to ask yourself, where is God inviting me to turn outward? Right? Shift the focus. Where can I serve? Where can I build someone up? If you're having a bad day, write a letter to someone and tell them thank you. Send them a text. Say, hey, I saw you the other day and you were shining such beautiful light. So, Lord, help us to walk in humility and help us to see others through your eyes most beautifully. And I'm so, so grateful for all of you. I'm just going to make sure I see you all through the lens of love. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.